Bentley juice, Bentley juice, Bentley juice. Hey baby! Welcome back to today's video. I'm the ghost with the most, Duhamel Bentley Juice. How you doing? Today we're gonna be talking about the recently deceased Beetlejuice collection by Melt Cosmetics. I don't know what came over me, but girl, let me spritz myself and let me get it together. If you don't know me, again, my name is Duhamel Bentley, and today we're talking about a brand that I honestly did not expect to come across. I am so excited that we're here today. The palette we're talking about today is going to be the Beetlejuice recently deceased Melt Cosmetics palette. I have not tried anything from this brand before, but let me tell you something, guys. I have been eyeballing it out, not just this collection, but previous collections to them. You know, I have been balling and seeking information on them because I feel like they're such cool brands. I love their kind of aesthetic and I love everything that they've been putting out so far. So I'm super excited to talk to you guys about this palette today. This is an extremely exciting palette. As you can see here, we're doing the theme, honey. I watched Beetlejuice maybe like twice in my life. I remember vaguely when I was a little boy that I watched it, and then I rewatched it maybe like 5 years ago. Always such a fun time. I love the movie, and when I saw this, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Not only that, every single time they post a picture on Instagram, Melt Cosmetics that is, I was like, stop. Wait a minute. Hold up. Because, oh my God, the looks look so incredible that I was just like, I need this. .com, .org, net, .gov, girl. Like, I needed it for my life, and I was so happy that I was able to get it. They came out with 2 palettes in this collection, which one of them is the recently deceased, which is the one that I got. The reason why I got this one, not that the other one wasn't beautiful or calling my attention in my life. The reason why I got this one in particular is because I've never had a palette like this. I have had some purples, and I just recently acquired some more interesting shadows that are a little bit more green, a little bit more yellowy. However, I've never had anything like this, and I want to show you guys all of the coolness that this palette has. And first and foremost, let's talk about packaging. This is so cool, so beautiful. The color is everywhere. When you open the box, it says Beetlejuice, 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 and it quotes Lydia Diaz. I added a last name to her. Lydia Dietz. She might be Diaz. We don't know that for sure. She might have married a Hispanic, individual that was last name Diaz. We don't know that. Just putting it out there. But I want to show you guys the palette. This is such a beautiful packaging for a palette. I'm going to close it up a little bit for you. I'm going to put it up close a little bit for you guys. As you can see here, it's plastic and it's see-through. It almost has a crazy visual effect that even though it's nice and straight, it looks a little dented in the center. So I'm always like, hold up. But it's so beautiful. I love the green. It's such an incredible color. The detail of the packaging is super cool. The Melt Cosmetics logo in the back with more detailing, and guys, this is just so cool. Again, I've never even had a packaging. I've never even purchased a palette that looks like this. So this is just something definitely for a collector or for someone that's going into Melt Cosmetics and wants to dip their toe into the Melt pond, if that makes any sense. This is a great first purchase. I am so in love with the packaging. Just, from the box. You guys know I love to keep my boxes. But let's open her up. Let me shut up and let's get into this because we don't have the time for this, So when you first open it up, it has a beautiful mirror. It's very large and very in charge. It reminds me a little bit of the packaging of the Huda Beauty. I have my Huda Beauty Naughty palette here. Let me show you that guy for comparison reasons. You can see this is definitely larger, but it reminds me a lot of the component, the mirror, the kind of style that this palette normally comes in. It's very similar to this one, although this one's a lot larger. It's very similar, and I thought that was really cool. When you first open the actual palette, it comes with this film from the film, and it's a scene from the movie. I'm gonna try and see if you can pick it up a little bit more there. I was trying to put it into a solid background, but it's when they're in the cemetery in that little board game style city. And let me show you the colors, you guys. Oh my gosh. This is what we have going on right now. It's so beautiful. As you can see, I have gone in the eyeshadows like nobody's business. Now, let's talk a little bit about variety and quality. Okay, so variety-wise, I feel like there was a lot of opportunity for them to get involved and create a couple of different looks. I feel like even though you have the greens and you have the purples, they're very similar to each other. I'm not the biggest fan of swatching. If you're in this channel and you're subscribed to this channel, you already know that I think and I believe that swatches are a completely separate different thing, because you don't prepare your eyelids as you would prepare your hands. It's just a completely different experience. We're not just gonna go in with our fingers and create, everything. So it's just not going to be the same. So that's why I'm not the biggest fan of swatching. But I will tell you that I wanna swatch all the colors here and show you the beautiful shades that we have. Let's start with the first 4 on the top, which are the green. I have is it Juice? Is that Beetlejuice? Is that how you write Beetlejuice or Beetlegeist? I don't know. Leave it in the comment down below because Mama's a little confused. But let's swatch it. This is what that guy looks like. I'm gonna swatch it right in my hand. That's Beetlegeist or Beetlejuice. Then we have Paranormal, which honestly, it's such a beautiful woods green with that shimmer metallic finish. After that, we have Draw a Door, which is gonna be this guy right here. And then last but not least, we have Neurotic, which is honestly such an iconic shadow in this palette in particular. Just look at it right there. Oof, it's so good. It literally looks like it's glowing and it's not even funny. But that's it right there. I mean, you guys, just look at that. I feel like this palette really, if anything brought me to this palette, was not only this top shade, but this right here. So let's move on to the purple side of things. Let me just wipe my hands so I have nice clean fingers. All right, you guys, so my fingers are clean. Let's start with Recently Deceased. That's gonna be a purple shimmery type of metallic shadow. Now this one to me is just, missing some of the luster that the top row is giving me. I'm also gonna go with Lost Souls, which is a really nice purple tone, a matte version. That's gonna be this guy right here. I have Little Accident as well, which I'm going to be swatching now. This one that has a little bit more of a pink purple reflex to it. And then last but not least, we have Bio Exorcist. So let's go ahead and swatch this guy. And boom, those are the swatches for the palette. Now, as you guys can tell, this is an 8 shadow palette. 4 of the shadows in this palette are matte, and 4 of them are gonna be the shimmery metallic one. The only one that looks blinding AF, it's gonna be the top one, which is Neurotic. Personally, my favorite of them all. The second favorite I would say definitely is Paranormal. I have all of them really on my eyes today. I have Beetlegeist or Beetlejuice. I don't even know how to say that. Melt Girl, leave the comment down below, let me know. What's the tea? I have Draw a Door on the bottom lash. Both of them are gonna be mixed in. I have Neurotic coming in here. I have Lost Souls Bio Exorcist, kind of fading out here. And then what I did was, I did Recently Deceased, and paranormal inside here to give me some depth. And girl, I didn't realize I had used literally all of the shadows in here, but as you can see here, it's so beautiful, it's so creative, and I definitely have loved the quality of them. Now, I want to bring up a couple of points because I feel like even though they're great, and I feel like the top row, I want to focus really quick on the top row, I feel like the top row performs really well. They're very similar to each other. As you can see here, one's just a little bit deeper than another, but they're very similar, and I feel like it's the same concept within the purple row. They are all very similar to each other, and that to me was a little disappointing because they're really beautiful, but I feel like they could have really pushed and, you know, really expanded the boundaries with creating really cool colors, you know, inspired by the film, or, you know, inspired by the film and Melt Cosmetics uniting. So I was a little disappointed over that. Moving over to the purple row, girl, now I'll tell you something. As you can see here in the purple row, comparing it to the green row, it just didn't work out for me. I feel like the purple row was a little powdery, a little patchy. It was lacking so much luster. It underperformed in my opinion. I have worked with a lot of purple shadows, you know, from different brands, and to be quite honest with you, I don't know what happened here because I know that based on my conversation in the Sephora where I purchased this, they were saying, oh, you know, Melt Cosmetics has a particular formulation, you know, for every single shadow, and, you know, they're so particular about it. And to be quite honest with you, the purple row just didn't do it for me. I feel like, again, similar concept of, they're so similar, like the shadows, the matte ones is, again, just one's a little tiny bit lighter than the other one. And then look at this one, guys, like, I'm gonna go over it again so you can see how this looks, but I mean, I shouldn't have to work through it over and over again, and I feel like that's the experience that I had within the purples. They perform well, they're okay, but for the price that this palette is in, this palette is a $48 palette, and if we're subdividing that per shadow, that's $6 a shadow, and that's a lot of money that I did not enjoy all the way. This top row by itself, if they would have done 2 minis, I would have been obsessed with just this one 1000%. This one is just not hitting the mark for me. I love the colors, however, I just feel like they could have done so much more, and the formula of the purples, I just unfortunately did not enjoy. They did not perform as easily as other purples that I have tried, or even within the same palette, they didn't perform, you know, as easily as the top shadows. And again, I understand purples are a little bit difficult to make, and I'm unfamiliar with the brands. I don't know. This is my first palette that I've ever owned from them, and I don't know if they have had experience with purples. I know they have had a lot of experience with greens and yellows. Like they launched their 420 palettes. I think one of them is called Smokeout. And honestly, like the 420 one, that was the one that I was like, boom, boom, boom. I want it so bad. But then this guy came out and I was like, let me totally do this because it makes perfect sense. So I know they have had a lot of experience with tones like this. However, again, I would have wished a little bit more variety. I would have wished for the quality of the purples to be more creamy, to be more pigmented, to be more present, just because putting it on top of something like this, it was just so underwhelming comparing it again to what I heard, and not only what I heard, what I first saw. Now, within this palette, because it's an 8 shadow palette, there's so many things you can do. You can do either a full purple, you can do a full green, you know, yellowy type of moment, and you can do what I did here, which is all of the colors combined. Now, you know Mama Bentley Juice Jr. was not playing around, honey. So I went ahead and I did all 3. I did a full purple, full green, yellow moment, and then I did what you guys see here. please make sure that you're subscribed, hitting the notification button so you don't miss any of the craziness. And girl, you're wondering where can you get this palette? You can get this palette at meltcosmetics.com. They have the full-blown collection there. You can even get a PR package if you want to purchase that, which comes with the entire collection, which honestly, I started first with the palette because it drew life out of me when I saw it. But again, all of the things that I was watching and seeing over and over and over, I was like, oh, I need it so bad. So within the experience that I've had so far, I most definitely want to continue to try more of their products. I think they're a brand that, you know, it's definitely putting in the work. And sometimes things like this happen, you guys, just because let's say, for example, in this case, a Purple Row just didn't strike me as I would have loved to be stricken to the core of the Beetlejuice fantasy. It doesn't mean that the brand, you know, I'm moving on. I definitely loved the formula, I loved the concept, and I loved just everything in general, and I 100% want to continue to try more things from this brand. I feel like I'm gonna give, if I had to rate this palette, just for the fact that it's lacking the luster on the purples, and I would have wished it had more variety within the tones because they're just so similar, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. And the reason why, it's because I really loved it overall. The formulas worked really well, packaging was iconic, and I was able to go crazy in this channel, you know what I mean? So you guys, with that said, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe, join the family. If you're part of the family already, girl, how you doing? Thank you so much for coming back. Hit the thumbs up, notification, and girl. That was a little bit more Rose Monsters Inc. Let me get it together. And girl, don't forget to binge watch. It's a thing. So with that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.